talk to you guys quickly. I think it's an important theme for the chess camp every day, every week, and maybe in the entire summer if you're here. It's a thing that I came up with, or we started talking about years ago, and it's called train, compete. And does anybody know the last part of it? Train, compete, and what's the third one?
Have fun.
No.
Concentrate.
I know Coach Aaron knows.
Win.
Train, compete, and then what do you do?
Concentrate.
You want to know?
Repeat.
Who said repeat? There you go. Excellent job. So guys, that's the whole point of getting better at chess or anything. You train, which means you sit in your lessons, you listen to Coach John, you listen to Coach Tommy, Coach Aaron, Coach Angel, whoever's here teaching you. You train. Then you take what you learn and you put it on the board. And you compete, right? And then what do? You repeat. You go back and you train more. You improve upon your mistakes. You self-reflect on your games. You get more lessons in, and then you compete again. And if you guys keep on doing this over and over and over again, like Coach Aaron was saying, you find little ways to improve every single day. What's going to happen over the course of a week, over the course of a summer, over the course of a semester, you are going to improve. I'll tell you one thing. Someone that's not training, competing, repeating, and someone that is, who's going to get better? The person that is, right? It's impossible for someone to get better than you if they're not training, competing, and repeating, and you are. It's the fact of life. If you're making a concerted effort to do something and someone else isn't, in a vacuum, all things equal, the person that's training, competing, and repeating is going to get better. There's no question about it. Now, when it comes to training, competing, and repeating, a couple things I want to tell you guys about that idea. Now, when you train, you can't just sit inactive, almost like asleep, and expect to get something from training. Training is a two-way conversation. It's a proactive engaging with the content and the coaches and the information being provided. How do you interact? What's a very simple, what does that mean to be proactive in a lesson or when you're training? Yes?
If the coach asks a question, you can try and answer it.
Exactly. If the coach asks a question, you try to answer. Now, is any answer a good answer, or should you think about the answer before you say it? Good. Thoughtful answers are important. Mindless answers, like I'm asking him a question, he's not paying attention. Oh, move the queen over there. There's no queen on the board. That's not productive engagement. But if you're engaged, you're looking, you're learning, you're asking questions, and then he says, move the knight over there. The knight is on the board, but the knight doesn't go there. But there's a reason why he said the knight goes there. Is that a productive participation?
Yeah.
Your answers don't need to be correct, but there needs to be thought behind your answers, else you're not going to be improving. So the part about being training is being proactive and engaged in your training. So that means that in each of your lessons, if you're with either any of the coaches, you need to be participating. If you're not paying attention and just sitting in a lesson, you will gain nothing. You can go to school every day of your life, but if you're not paying attention, you're not going to learn anything. You can sit in a lecture for chess every single day of the summer, and if you're not paying attention, you will not learn anything. You need to be proactive, asking questions, thinking about your answers, and staying engaged. Now, when you play, what is important about playing? First of all, when you're playing, I think trying to win is extremely important. If you're indifferent to the result, what's going to happen? You're going to be careless. You're going to move quickly. You're going to lose pieces. You're going to be just going through the motions of playing. If you're trying to win, what happens? Your brain's working. Your adrenaline's pumping. You're anxious. You're biting your fingernail. Because you care and you want to win, you're engaged in the process of competition. Mindless chess, you go and play chess every day of the night, and I'm sure some coaches, raise your hand who plays online chess at night. You don't get any better if you just play mindless chess. And how do I know this? Because I've been in New York long enough to be at Union Square, Washington Square Park, the Village Chess Forum. People play chess every single day of their life and never get better. I've seen the same people from 20 years ago at the same exact level they are 20 years later. Because they're playing mindless chess. They're not committed to winning, they're not committed to improving upon their games through serious thought-provoking engagement competition. So those two things, guys, if you train and you're super engaged, you're actively participating in your lessons and instruction. You take to the board and you're fighting to win, and you care, and you're thinking over the board, and it matters. When you win, you feel good, there's an emotional connection. If you lose, you're a little bit disappointed. And then you go back and you train. And you repeat this, guys, over and over and over again, over the course of a week of summer camp, over the course of the summer, over the course of the semester. You are going to outperform people that are not doing that. There's no question. Now, how much we outperform them? I think there's something called talent. I believe in it. Some people probably have a higher trajectory, but I'll give you an example. Pedro Espinosa. He's competing in the U.S. Championship right now as we speak. He's in St. Louis. Just 2 days ago, he beat Carissa Yip, which is one of the top female players in the world. She's an international master rated over 2,400. He beat her over the board. Now, the reason I tell you about Pedro is he wasn't the most talented kid, but he trained, competed, and repeated for the past 12 years. I met him as a kindergartner. He went to PS 59. Anybody at PS 59 here? So he went to PS 59, he sat there, and he started playing. Do you know it took him forever to get to 1,000? He wasn't like this. He was like this. And when most people or most players, oh, I'm going to go get into basketball, I'm going to do Lego robotics, I'm going to do tennis or golf, basketball, he stuck with chess. And he was like this. And he kept on going and improving. But he played every single weekend. He trained throughout the week with his coaches and his teammates, and he got better, slowly. He didn't have the most talent. He got to 1,000. There was kids that are already, when he was 1,000, getting to 1,500, 1,700, 1,000. Then he got to 1,100, 1,200, 1,200 for a year, 1,200 for a year and a half. Oh, 1,300, 1,300 for a year and a half. And slowly but surely, he climbed and climbed and climbed until about last year, 2 years ago, he became a U.S. chess master. And all the players that were more talented than him, all the players that had improved more quickly than him, he ended up passing all of them. He trained, competed, and repeated. And that's why I say, talent, you can maybe go like this, but if you're dedicated to training, competing, and repeating over the course of a long period of time, you'll go like this. You'll be like Pedro Espinosa until you beat the #1 female player in the United States. And I'll tell you, when Pedro comes back, we'll be here next week, he will tell you who's not the most talented player. Does anybody here know Pedro Espinosa? Would you agree?
Yeah.
You were much stronger than him several years ago.
I was younger.
Much stronger than him. Much stronger than him. Anyway, point being, train, compete, repeat. Talent is important, but consistency with training, competing, and repeating over the course of a long period of time will ultimately lead to you guys being as successful at the game of chess as you guys want. All right, you guys understand?
Yeah.
All right, guys, have a great day at chess today. I'll take a couple questions. You have one, yes.
Did you actually win Magnus Carlsen in chess, or did you win in basketball?
I beat him in basketball and lost to him in chess, but I will tell you a story. I took Magnus Carlsen to the Yankees game many years ago, and not far from the Yankees game in the Bronx is a player by the name of Justice Williams, who also comes to camp. And he's one of our campers. He's been coming to camp, but now he's a grown-up. He's 24 years old now. But at the time, he was still in middle school or high school. And I took Magnus Carlsen to the Yankee game in the Bronx. We went over there, and I called Justice. Hey, Justice, are you in the neighborhood? He said, yeah, Coach, I'm home, 5 minutes away. I said, bring your board and a clock. Let's get ready to rumble. Outside the Yankee Stadium is a big McDonald's with a lot of different tables. Table. And they squared off. It was me, Magnus, and Justice, the three of us. And we set the game up. And you know who won the game?
No.
Justice Williams. I was there, I watched it, and I saw a high school kid from New York City beat the world champion over the board. And if you don't believe me, it's on YouTube, so you can watch it. So, did I beat Magnus Carlsen in a game of chess? No. But to one of our campers that I know very well, did I watch him beat Magnus Carlsen? And that is absolutely true, a true story. Any other questions?
Wait, are you friends with Magnus?
Friends? I think that would be generous to say that. But yeah, we know each other. I would say we're friends, not best of friends. Anybody else? Yes?
You sound like best friends.
Well, I wanted to be best friends.